Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm not.
And coming up, we've got news on every single superstar who moved to SmackDown in the shake-up.
A big superstar who might be leaving WWE.
And a big superstar who might be moving back to NXT. This is the news.
Speaking of big things, the big dog. So, Roman Reigns was Vince McMahon's so-called biggest acquisition in SmackDown Live history, which we kind of called yesterday because we are dead good.
Well, technically it was Elias, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. So basically at the end of the show, Vince McMahon came out, he was going to introduce this big acquisition, and he built this person up and up and up and up, and out came Elias. Nice little swerve there from one of the best troll characters in the business. But of course, Elias wasn't the grand surprise. It was indeed the big dog who came out. He battered Elias, he punched Vince McMahon in the face, he said that SmackDown Live is his yard now. The whole thing was awesome. Roman got a great reception. The beatdown, well, the punch in the face of Vince looked great. The beatdown of Elias looked great. Adam Wilborn, I'm absolutely buzzing about this. This was tremendous stuff.
You're not the only one, Andy. I absolutely think this is the perfect decision for all parties. For SmackDown Live, with obviously the upcoming Fox deal, I think they're going to probably chuck some more people on there around October time anyway. For Seth Rollins, because now you've not got the shadow 100%. Of Roman Reigns hanging over. And also for Roman Reigns, look, he's got a fresh start. He's got new opponents he can now face on SmackDown. And fingers crossed they can, because he's on a new brand as opposed to being Roman and then being like, well, hang on, if Roman Reigns is back and fully fit, why isn't he suddenly challenging for a title? Because he's been moved to SmackDown, you arguably have to establish him on there. Kofi Kingston gets a good run as WWE Champion, and arguably by one of the big four pay-per-views this year, maybe Survivor Series, hopefully not SummerSlam. I can't hope Kofi's still WWE Champion. You're going to have Seth and Roman as your two champions on the two brands, and I think it's going to look awesome.
Yeah, I think this is a great move. It's a positive across the board. I think it benefits literally everyone at this stage. Like a lot of people will look at this and be cynical with Roman. People were doing it before the announcement was even made. There was a lot of talk that if this biggest acquisition was Roman Reigns, people were just going to dump on it. And, well, they didn't. Roman got a really great reception, especially when he punched the boss in the face. Look, I love Roman Reigns. It's quite hard for me to be objective about the guy. I think he's great. He has all kinds of fresh, exciting new possibilities. Now, the only thing that would be an absolute disaster is if WWE try and book him in as a babyface in a feud with Kofi. Fortunately, I think they're smarter than that. I don't think that's going to happen. They have handled Roman very, 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 very well since he came back. It looks like Elias is probably going to be his first opponent. That should be a nice little pay-per-view squash. And then after that, we can look at potentially bigger matches. Maybe Daniel Bryan, I think, would be an excellent, excellent long-term feud partner for him. Let's see how it pans out. I think the SmackDown main event scene now looks very exciting despite the loss of AJ Styles.
Indeed, he was, of course, not the only one, Roman Reigns I'm talking about here, who moved to SmackDown Live. We've got a whole list of other people who joined. Some of them we saw on TV last night. Some were announced online at WWE.com. Otis and Tucker are now officially part of SmackDown Live after sort of drifting between both brands. No Monday Night MILF to report anymore, I'm afraid. Mickey James is
me every time
on SmackDown. Apollo Crews also on the blue brand now. Chad Gable, yes, on it. Let's just break up Rude and Gable as we might have something for them now. Chad Gable is on SmackDown. Hopefully he can do some great stuff as a singles competitor.
He's going to be teaming with Shelton Benjamin.
He is also not the only group they've broken up because Liv Morgan of the Riot Squad is now on SmackDown. Your man Buddy Murphy is there. We are buzzing
Can't wait for
that.
That's kept secret, baby.
Lars Sullivan, despite apparently going to Raw on Monday night, is now on SmackDown.
Continuity.
Kairi Sane, as we saw, she teamed up with Asuka.
Good.
In a fantastic 4-on-4 tag match. She is now on SmackDown. Great news there. Ember Moon as well.
Good.
Bayley.
Double good.
Needed that, didn't she?
Yes, really did. Get away from everything on Raw. Do some good things on SmackDown.
As you mentioned, Elias is now on SmackDown Live as well. And, as I called, Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor is on SmackDown. I know what you're thinking.
Good.
Hang on. If Finn Balor is on SmackDown, does that mean they've got both mid-card titles? No, apparently not. Samoa Joe is on Raw, but due to illness...
He had the flu, apparently, so he couldn't show up. But apparently that move is going to be made. Looking at this, SmackDown have absolutely smashed this, haven't
2 years in a row they've had it. Last year they got absolutely the best picks.
Yeah.
Granted, they were sort of trying to balance out the rosters then.
Yes.
This year, yes, they've got best picks, and I think it's only going to improve from here on out as they try and sort of overload that roster in anticipation of the Fox deal, which kicks in October.
Yeah, I think it looks absolutely tremendous. Look, the tag division does look a lot weaker. They've lost the Usos, obviously. They've missed out on the Viking experience. But look at the women's division. They've added Bayley, they've added Kairi Sane, they've added Ember Moon. Look at the Raw women's division to contrast. It's basically Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, who's going to be flirting between both brands anyway and is a SmackDown wrestler, Ronda Rousey, who's not going to show up for a year, and then what? Dana Brooke? I mean,
Natalia.
Oh, sorry, Natalia, Phil Chambers' favourite wrestler.
And of course, Lacey Evans.
But I love this for SmackDown. I think the roster looks really, really exciting. Swapping the mid-card champions really works for me because Finn Balor is a guy we've been calling to be moved to SmackDown for a long time. A guy like Buddy Murphy, he's got the character, he's got the promos, and of course he's got the ring work. He's going to do tremendously. We've already talked about Roman. Bayley really, really needed a fresh start after a couple of years of just kind of fanning around doing nothing. And Mickie James, solid veteran presence on the mid-card. This is good as a whole. The only thing I feel a little bit bad about is Liv Morgan. Not because I think Liv Morgan's bad or anything. I think she's much improved and certainly can be a valuable presence on the women's division's mid-card. But the Riot Squad, man, that's a real shame. They seem really close behind the scenes. And their kind of friendship and their bond really actually made me like them a lot more. And it's a shame that WWE have kind of just torn that apart. But you know, they're not in the business of like making nice friends backstage.
Well, you say that. I saw some stuff online with Liv Morgan panning up to sex and violence, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, or whatever they're called officially by WWE. So maybe there could be something there, or that could just be her with her pals hanging out backstage.
Yeah, I think her and Sonya are good, mate. I don't know. Who knows? Either way, SmackDown have slayed it. The whole thing looks great. Yeah, excited.
Very, very exciting. But it's not all good news for WWE.
It's not. And there's one big, literally big, he's an absolute unit of a man, SmackDown wrestler who might be on his way out of the company. So this news broke last night. It was the man himself doing it via Twitter, and it was immediately picked up on by every source around. I'm of course talking about Harper, Luke Harper, whatever you want to call him. He has officially requested his WWE release. I have the full statement here. He talks about the past 6 years being amazing. He's proud of what he's done. He's proud to have shared a ring with his co-worker. And he has said, thank you from the top to the bottom of WWE. Thank you for the fans, for your undying support. Thank you, everybody. But his goal in the future is to continue to grow as a performer and a person and to continue to do his family proud. So Luke Harper has asked for his WWE release. Will he get it? Probably not. Either way, this is quite a big story because Luke Harper, while he had been out injured for a long time, and even before that, he was kind of locked into the Bludgeon Brothers, which was, they were effective, they were tag team champions, they were dominant. Not the most compelling gimmick the man's ever had, though. But he is a really underrated wrestler. He's probably one of the better big guys in the business. Some might say the second best big man in this business. What do you think of this?
Yeah, it's a real shame because the noises he was making as we headed into WrestleMania, that was that he was back. They obviously saw him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and you thought, oh, exciting. He's one of those guys that they could bring back and immediately push in any sort of role and the fans would accept it. By the sounds of it, he's probably come back, spoken to whoever he needs to speak to, maybe even creative, and they've gone. And he's gone, well, fair enough, I want to leave. Again, it's very doubtful that they will grant him that release. We've seen this with many other people, but he's someone I really, really do hope gets his release. I could see him doing fantastic stuff anywhere else.
Literally
and also,
anywhere.
I can very much see him being one of those guys who goes away from WWE for 2-3 years and comes back as an absolute monster.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to come across like, I'm going to temper this just a little bit, because whenever someone requests a release or whatever, and there's someone that the internet likes and someone that we think is underrated, it's very easy to go, oh yeah man, he should be in the main event. That's not what we're saying, obviously. It's just Luke Harper he's been given very few opportunities as a singles wrestler throughout his time in WWE, but every single one he has knocked out of the park. He's great. The guy's awesome. Now, he's 39 years old. He has had some knee troubles, I believe. The company seemingly just soured on him overnight because the Bludgeon Brothers were a pushed commodity, and then he recovers from injury and they do nothing with him. But the guy's not a needle mover for WWE, but he could have potentially been a valuable upper mid-card presence, and I think he can absolutely do some cool stuff for an AEW or even like a New Japan. I think it'd be cool to see what he can do. And by all accounts, one of the nicest guys in the business, very well liked in the locker room, so good for him. Best of luck to him. I hope he gets what he wants.
Yeah, best of luck. And he's not the only one who may be leaving WWE, but now, according to reports, Alexander Wolfe, who tweeted last night seemingly indicating he was going to be leaving WWE, is now being reported by Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet that he could well be sticking around. Now, to give you the initial story, last night as well, it was a big night last night, Alexander Wolfe tweeted about Sanity, using the hashtag RIP Sanity, basically saying it's time to, he talked about his amazing career that they had with them, of course, former NXT Tag Team Champions, NXT Tag Team of the Year 2017. He said, it concluded by saying, it's time to leave this behind and walk a different path, RIP Sanity, goodbye WWE. Now, that would seem to suggest that what with Eric Young, of course, going to Raw and Sanity appearing to be disbanded, certainly from what Killian Dane's tweeting as well, it would appear that Alexander Wolfe was going to leave WWE. But as I said, Ryan Satin is now reporting that instead he could be dropping back to NXT, which I think would probably be best for all parties.
Yeah, I certainly think so. I mean, Alexander Wolfe is quite a seasoned wrestler. He had a lengthy run with WXW in Germany, and before coming over to WWE, he was a major player there. He was actually a world champion, kind of anchored the federation for a while. The promotion for a while. So while I'm not necessarily what else he can add to his game as a performer, he can probably come up with a new gimmick, re-establish himself, just find his footing again. Like, the treatment of Sanity over the past couple of days has been really weird. Like, I know they've not...
Best years.
Yeah, it has. Like, I know they've not been featured basically at all on SmackDown, but if you look at the way they've kind of fallen apart, it's just odd, man. Like, obviously Nikki Cross wasn't brought up as part of the group, but she wasn't drafted to anywhere. She's still a free agent, which is really, really strange. Eric Young was quietly brought to Raw as part of a wee graphic. Like you pointed out yesterday, Adam, it was like, oh yeah, we got all these guys. We got Lars Sullivan, we got AJ Styles. Oh yeah, Eric Young as well. Killian Dane tweeted yesterday something similar to Wolfe, in which he basically said that Sanity was over. He looks to be staying on SmackDown for now, which is cool. I'd like to see him as a single star. And now Alex Wolfe is apparently going back to NXT. So yeah, hell of a call up that was, but best of luck to all four of them. They all have different sets of skills that can benefit the company in different kinds of ways, and I'd love to see all four of them prosper.
Indeed, and hopefully this is the catalyst for them doing this more often. If you've got nothing for someone to do on the main roster and they can drop back to NXT without it being too awkward, if they've not been, they've been on the main roster for 10 years, that seems a bit ridiculous. But if they've got nothing for them, take them back to NXT. You know you're going to get great matches there, and it's a chance, like you say, for them to reassess and change their character.
Change character, new gimmick, new wrestling style, whatever you want.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
what it's for.
Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, of course. We'll move on to your Twitter questions. Of course, you can tweet them at us at WhatCultureWWE. First question today comes from Mexican Ring Bear again.
Mexican Ring Bear.
Who says, there's obviously some chemistry between the New Day and KO. Do you think he'd be a great honorary New Day member in Big E's absence?
How much fun was that stuff on SmackDown, man? That was so good.
I will never get the image of Kevin Owens gyrating
swiveling
out of
the
my
hips
head.
and stuff. Yeah, that's going to be gift. We're screwed. Yeah, no, this was bags of fun. I don't know how long it could potentially go on for. I do think that Kevin Owens is probably going to screw them over.
He's going to turn, isn't he?
And he's probably going to emerge as Kofi Kingston's first opponent, and that sounds pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
To be honest, Kevin Owens
Don't give him another idea for a new name.
As you say, quite a lot of the time, is an absolute git of a man.
Love it.
He's a tremendous performer. We all adore him, but he's going to turn on him, isn't he? As much fun as this stuff was.
Exactly. Rich Edwards with the second question of today, who says, with WWE breaking up the Riot Squad and Sanity, RIP in peace, is this a mistake, and could bringing back large stables be a game changer?
Ooh, I mean, the large stable era kind of feels like it passed us by a long time ago. I do wonder if they are maybe, and this is all speculation on my part, don't take this as gospel or anything, maybe they've split up these groups because they were on the verge of bringing another group up to the main roster, speaking of eras. I don't know. Riot Squad, I really liked as like an enhancement trio, although it did kind of really stifle what talented performers like Ruby Riott could do. She's a very good wrestler,
fantastic.
But if she's part of this enhancement group, she can't be a pushed commodity anywhere. Sanity, you all know my thoughts on the gimmick and the characters and so forth. Like, I didn't like it, although WWE really sold them up the river. Yeah, no, I don't see a return to those
I hope for more stables. I don't want it to be stables across the board. You know, maybe one or two
it's
on
not
each
dragging
brand.
you.
If we get, as you mentioned there, an Undisputed Era coming up, then I would be very, very excited, but I get the feeling that may be delayed. That might be one of those ones they do in October, possibly, to sort of boost a little rating.
Some interesting stuff about the Undisputed Era in the NXT spoilers, if you want to read up on that.
And, I mean, we all just want to see the Brood back together, don't we? So.
Gangrel, baby.
Banging
and banging.
Final question of today comes from TV Chips on Twitter.
TV Chips!
Also known as Kenneth. Thank you, Kenneth,
Big Ken.
Who says, can we make Asuka and Kairi's team name, love them as a team by the way, the Pirate Experience?
that's almost certainly what they're going to do now, isn't it? The Japanese Experience.
Oh, God.
It's going to be something terrible.
I read today that Velveteen Dream was called the something experience when he first went to NXT.
Patrick Clark Experience, yeah. Like he's had all kinds of wacky characters.
So they could still salvage this. They won't, but they could.
Yeah. I mean, they could rechristen the Ascension like the Road Warriors Light Experience, something like that. I don't know. What do you think of this tag team, by the way, real quick?
Asuka and Kairi saying, look, if you're not going to push Asuka as a singles wrestler, which you're probably not going to do for a while, I think you need to save her for Becky Lynch for one of the big 4 pay-per-views and say, look, I beat you for the titles. For one of the titles at least, and then she can challenge for that down the road. If you're not going to do that, for the time being, we were talking about the Sky Pirates coming up. They've half done that. I love Kairi Sane. I love the reaction I've seen online from casual fans who've just seen Kairi Sane's elbow drop. The Insane Elbow, is that what they call it?
That's what they're calling it.
I love the fact that people really like that. If there's any team that I want to be the Iconics, and I don't, it is those two, and I think them as a tag team would really look good. And like I say, if we've got nothing else for the two of them as a starter for Kairi Sane and for something to keep Asuka busy for a few months, I love it.
I'm with you.
Right, let's move on to today's and finally, and it relates to Becky 2 belts. And something that I've seen on Reddit Squared Circle, which I think I saw in the comments, someone gave an A for the idea and a sort of C- for the execution. Of course, she is the man.
Of course.
Time does their Man of the Year.
Of course.
And some fan has made a lovely fake cover image for that they presumably took to one of the TV shows. I don't know who they're drawing. Who's that?
Who? What? And why she only got one belt as well if the crux of this is... no. Bless you for trying, whoever did that, but... yeah.
Not for you?
No, probably not. It looks like a
Don't show it to Becky Lynch.
It looks like a spitting image puppet, that.
Yeah.
No.
All of them sock puppets.
I'm sorry, they probably worked really hard on this, and I'm just sitting here kind of...
No, work harder. So let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you can tweet your Twitter questions at us at WhatCulture WWE. Whilst you're there, you can tweet abuse at me and Andy. You can tweet him at...
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Hank.
Follow me at Adam Wilward. You follow us all, as I said, at WhatCulture WWE. My thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
What was that drawing of, man? I'm sorry.